What's your name and how long have you been a delegate for?
Brian Chisholm, I've been a delegate for 7.5 and going into my 8th session.
Cool. What do you like most about being a delegate?
Oh, feeling like you can make good change, even though oftentimes we're failing because we're outnumbered. They've had the supermajority here since 1922, so a little over 100 years, and so it's frustrating. But I think the best part about being a delegate is when people come to you and ask for help, you're able to help. With constituents, stuff like that. You know, when somebody, it's very frustrating for people to try to talk to anybody inside the government, but it does afford us the ability to call who we know is a decision maker and almost force them to at least respond to a constituent. So that's one of the nice things about being a delegate.
Okay, good to know. Good to know, just in case I ever want to run in the future.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm doing a story about 287G programs, and particularly ICE, and how the Democratic supermajority is trying to impact it and really just go after it. So 287G programs in Maryland make communities safer by allowing local law enforcement who know the areas better than federal agents to conduct certain tasks of ICE on illegals who have committed a crime already. Do you believe that the Democratic agenda to end these partnerships, which was stated in Senate Bill 0245, which was recently introduced, do you think that these initiatives and these efforts will backfire on the Democrats?
I do, because I think there's a complete misunderstanding of what 287G is. 287G, the way it is set up right now in the state of Maryland, is to deputize local law enforcement officers so that if somebody gets arrested, let's say somebody gets picked up for drunken driving or for disorderly conduct or whatever the case may be, they come in. If you're in the 287G program, these agents are already they've been trained in the 287G program. They then put you into a system. This system will say, hey, the guy that you just picked up is wanted for murder in California, or wanted for pedophilia, or wanted for trafficking juveniles, whatever the case may be. All it then does is allow them to then contact ICE and have ICE come in, and ICE would then be able to pick them up once they're released. The problem right now is if you get rid of 287G, let's say the same thing. Let's say somebody's just picked up for disorderly conduct, but they have a murder rap somewhere else or pedophilia somewhere else. They're going to get let go onto the street and continue this cycle. So if you're involved in a 287G, it takes these very dangerous people off of our streets. Number two, this is the part I don't think they really think about. If somebody is wanted for murder or pedophilia or trafficking, ICE is still looking for them. And guess where ICE is going to go get them if they don't get them from the jail? In the home or at their workplace. Guess who's in the home or at the workplace a great deal of the time if it's an illegal immigrant? Other illegal immigrants and other family members. If we're really worried about family members being picked up because they're near somebody that's wanted by ICE, then the 287G program is what you want. It's a win-win. First of all, the counties get paid to run the 287G. The federal government is training them in the way they want them trained. We do not have any task force in the state of Maryland. So we don't have anybody in any part of the state of Maryland, in any county, that is going out and trying to round up illegal immigrants. We just don't. The only way 287G works in the state of Maryland is you have to commit a crime first, be picked up and put in jail, and that's when they run that check across, the ICE database to say, hey, this guy's a bad hombre. We need him. And all it does is say, all right, we have him here. We're not going to let him go back out into the community or back out into the streets until you come pick him up. If we get rid of 287G, we're just asking to put more of these people out into the street.
So the tasks or the models which Maryland implements currently, it's just the warrant enforcement or the warrant model and the jail enforcement model.
That's correct. So we got rid of, I don't think anybody in the state of Maryland does the housing anymore. Anne Arundel County used to make a lot of money on housing until ICE came to pick up. But we don't do the task force anymore, and we don't do the housing. All the 287G is in the state of Maryland is the actual running the background database check and then communicating with ICE, hey, we've got this guy. Maybe you need to come, or you should come pick him up before we let him go. Because a lot of times, people are picked up for all kinds of stuff where they might only be held for a day, 3 or 4 days, or even a couple hours. Well, this is a great opportunity for ICE to come get them safely. We talked about other family members being around, but if you think about it, it's a very dangerous situation for both the illegal, for the neighbors, for the community, and for the law enforcement officers to go get them in a location where it's not secure. At least when they're being held, it's secure. You're in a secured location, and you have prison guards or you have other law enforcement around. To do it the other way is very dangerous for everybody. That's why I think they're either being disingenuous or they have a complete misunderstanding of what 287G really is.
So that leads me to my second question, actually. So it seems to me, at least, that the Democratic powers that be in this state are trying to use the ICE drama that's happening nationally in places like Minneapolis and other places and other cities to score points in Maryland. What do you believe that the true intentions of these Democratic leaders actually is, as it pertains to getting rid of 287G and all these other ICE bills that they're proposing?
I think they think one of two things. They either hate the Trump administration so bad that they'll push back against anything. Because essentially, if you're saying, I am against 287G, what are you saying? You're saying, I don't really care about the safety and security of the people that I represent. I am more in favor of letting the illegals roam the streets. Or two, they just see it in a way that we don't see it, and that is, oh, we're just rounding up people and we want to protect families, so we don't want ICE here. Well, that doesn't really accomplish it, even with this latest bill, because ICE is still going to be here. Nobody's saying ICE can't be in Maryland. It's saying that we're not participating in 287G, but that doesn't really help. I think it just endangers people. So once again, why they would put it in, I don't know what the real goal is, other than maybe to get a name for themselves, to kind of stand out. Obviously, we're going into an election year. There's some people, I think the delegate to put the 287G repeal bill in is running I think he's running for Congress. It helps him to get his name recognition out there. So maybe that's the driving force behind it. I don't know.
Is that Boafo, or is that someone else?
Yeah, I think Boafo is the one to put it out.
Yeah, I actually have a question about Boafo. So Delegate Boafo sponsored the Icebreakers bill, which would bar people who became an ICE officer after January 20th, 2025, when Trump took office, from holding law enforcement positions in the state government. He actually said, quote, anyone who joined ICE before the inauguration of Donald J. Trump, you are welcome to Maryland with open arms. And when referring to those who joined after, he said, we don't want you in Maryland at all. So this seems like blatant ideological and even time span discrimination, because some people just joined without even really having any affiliation towards Trump, coming from our own state government and towards citizens. What do you think about that?
I think that you hit the nail on the head. This is all about, I am going to put it back in the eye of the Trump administration, because I'm going to run for Congress. And in order for me to get my base out, I have to stand up and say, I hate Donald Trump so much that I don't want any ICE agents here that came in after him. I mean, what distinguishes, what's the difference between before Trump and after Trump? I mean, there's really no, the same type of people that want to serve their country, people that want to make the community safe. And you're coming out and saying, no, we don't want you in Maryland if you came in under this administration. That's just, it's nuts to me. It's just, it is ideologically driven, but with a self-promoting agenda behind it. And maybe he just sees it, that this is his ticket to rise up on on the ticket to get more votes, because in the end, there's going to be a lot of people that probably get into that race, and you might be able to win it with 20% of the vote. And maybe he thinks by putting something like this in and really calling the Trump administration out and saying, I hate Trump so much that I'm going to put this in, maybe he thinks it puts him over the top. I don't know.
You know, I had no idea that he was running for Congress before this, because I've seen his name around with really radical far-left junk legislation.
Yeah.
And there's just like a lot of radical stuff. I think in the past it was something about like trans health equity or
Yeah.
something like that. So it makes perfect sense that he's running for office and he wants to win the primary. He wants to be the most leftist candidate out there.
Yeah.
So another question.
My guess is he'll be back towards the middle if he gets the primary win.
After the primary vote, he'll say, "Well, actually,"
He'll sound like you and I after that.
Be mutilated. Yeah,
Yes.
something like that. So, I guess this will be the last question. The influx of illegal aliens is causing an overcrowding of government resources and services, which Democrats claim to support. As government resources become more scarce for Maryland citizens, as the housing market continues to shrink and become more unaffordable, and as costs like energy rates become higher, do you think that Democrat voters will begin to realize the benefit of having border laws, or do you think that they'll just redirect their blame to some other thing?
I don't think they cared so much about the border because there's a belief that the people that are coming across now, we have proven with the Ian Roberts story that there's a good chance there's a lot of illegals voting in our elections. So the people coming across end up being part of their voting base. So I don't think they ever had a problem with that. They don't seem to understand the financial situation we've put ourselves in. We're now looking at another $1.5 billion deficit. Well, why is that? Because we're putting out more money than we're bringing in. The people that are leaving the state of Maryland, we're the fourth highest migrated state out in the country, are the people that are actually revenue producers. They are the people that create jobs. They're the ones that take and invest in different things. The people that are coming in, and it's been proven with some of the immigration numbers, are the people that are coming in for some of the free giveaways. They're here for the SNAP. They're here for the Medicaid. They're here for, unfortunately, we've become an abortion capital. People want to come to Maryland for the free abortions or for the free medical services. And I think if you look at it that way, if it's not your money, you tend not to care. It's always been said that other people spending other people's money on other things is a very dangerous place to be. But it's their mindset, right? It's not their money. They don't care. But if you were to ask all the Democrats out there, are you willing to write a check for $10,000 to pay for somebody you don't know to get SNAP benefits? I doubt they're going to write that check because it's not their money in the situation we're in right now. When it becomes their money, they tend to care a little bit more.
I see. Okay. Well, I guess I'll ask a final one. It'll be more broad, more general. What are your thoughts as what can be done from the Republicans in office? Delegates like yourself and other people in the Freedom Caucus and also other GOP delegates and senators. What can be done about this assault on ICE and on these 287G programs and on federal initiatives like this?
I think our number one goal, especially in my office, I've always said it since I came in, we're going to inform, we're going to educate, and we're going to protect. Our biggest obstacle right now for winning down here in Annapolis is they thrive in darkness. There's like this veil of secrecy down here. Most people don't pay attention because they've never had to pay attention. They don't want to pay attention. They assume we're a representative government. Somebody down there will take care of it. Well, it's very difficult to fix anything down here without the public being involved. So we've made a concerted effort to get information out to people. I don't tell anybody how to vote. I don't tell anybody how to think, but I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to give you the honesty. I'm going to give you the facts, and I'm going to give you the data. You then form your own opinion. I believe in critical thinking. I think that our number one objective then is how do we get this out to people? And doing it through things like this or through email. I mean, we are constantly, especially the Maryland Freedom Caucus, we are every day trying to figure out how do we get more information out? How do we get more facts out? What do we know from one another? We each have our own little niches that we're good with. And we try to build upon that to make sure that the Maryland public knows. It is very unfortunate that people come up to me on a daily basis and say, I can't wait to retire and get out of here. Or the second I can, I am leaving here. We're trying to reverse that because we do know the trend that's leaving here. It is the people that apply critical thinking. It is the people that work for a living that are leaving out of here the fastest and being replaced by takers. And that's a dangerous place for this state. So we got to do our best to get the word out that this is what we're fighting for down here. We can't win with votes, I promise. But we can win when we get the public involved and start to put public pressure on the other side to stop putting in these crazy bills, like the 287G bill we were just talking about.
Certainly, I totally agree. It's all about the media and the publicity and driving the narrative.
Yeah.
And our fifth priority, with our priorities, I think I sent it to this office. We dropped it off at a lot of different offices a couple days ago. Is just fighting, particularly with the 287G thing that's happening, because we know that they were gonna try to end it because they want to score political points. They want to be on good terms with the National Democrats, particularly Wes Moore, who is likely going to run for president in 2028. So we just need to fight back and do things like this. And I'll be making a lot of short clips and posting it on Facebook and other things. So
Perfect.
thank you again for
Thank you.
agreeing to do this interview. I really appreciate it. And that's really all I have today.
Good to be with you.